There we go. What is up, team? It's your boy Sledge from the SledgeInc team with the very first episode of Credit Card Combat. And today, it wouldn't be right if we didn't have two titans in the game. We got two titans in the game. We have Anthony Venture from the Anthony Venture YouTube channel, and we also have Joe Barreto from the Credit Card Connection. And you know, over here at SledgeInc, we get straight to business. But first, we have got to go over the rules of the debate. Okay, so the rules of this debate, the format, the debate is going to be divided into 5 rounds. The first 4 rounds will include 3 questions per round, and you're going to get a response from both creators. The final round is going to be an audience super chat round. So if you want your question answered, drop your super chat. I'm going to start our question. So you can drop the super chat during any time during the debate. I'm going to start our question, and then for the 5th round, I'm going to come back and I'm going to present those questions to these creators. Each creator is going to have 3 minutes to respond to their questions. If a creator wants to give a rebuttal to what the other creator said, they're going to have 1 minute to get a rebuttal, and that's only if time allows, because I don't want to keep you guys here forever. The way the speaking order is going to go, the moderator, which is me, will alternate who answers first in each round. So if Anthony answers first, gets the first question in the first round, then Joe will get the first question in the second round, and so on and so forth. There's going to be no interruptions other than the creator speaking. So in saying that, the creators will not be talking back and forth with the chat, although while the debate is going on and they're giving their answers, I will most likely be in the chat. As far as timekeeping, when it gets down to 2 minutes, I'm going to give them a 2-minute warning, and a 30-second warning, so we don't be here forever with people speaking. And going over the limit will result in me muting. I would just have to mute the creator that's speaking at the time. We want to make this entertaining and fun, of course. The audience engagement, like I say, the creators may not directly engage with the audience during the debate. But me, the moderator, I will direct all questions from the super chat round to the creators. And in the closing, each creator will get 90 seconds for their final remarks, and the audience will pick the winner. The thing is, we all going to be winners. So yeah, as soon as these guys get in here, we are going to get it started. We're going to get it started. Let me see who all we got in here right now. I seen we got JP Buffett in the building. Mitch is in here. Johnny Jimenez is in here. Who y'all going for? Who y'all going for? Hold on 1 second, y'all. Yo. You can't get it. Hold on, let me see the link again. Okay. All right. Yeah. All right. For some reason, y'all, Joe couldn't get in, so I got to send him the link again. All right. Give me 1 second. 1 second, so I can get Joe in here. Anthony should be in a minute as well. I might have to send it to him separately, I guess. If I get Sorry about that, y'all. I don't know why Joe couldn't get in. I gotta find Joe. And Anthony. You in? All right, cool. All right, the first contestant is in the building. Anthony, I'm calling you Anthony. That's crazy. The first contestant is in the building, Joe Barreto. Wait a minute, hold on. What you got on, Joe? What is that?
I figured, I represent Anthony because it was his birthday yesterday, and so that he doesn't cry hard, I'll just as I beat his ass. I'm sorry, we can't curse here, right? Okay.
Oh,
As
we 7 minutes in. We good.
as I beat him, it's all good.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Anthony should be here. Surely he had to make some moves real quick. But man, y'all can't believe you representing the Anthony Barreto. I'm just
See,
your
you
name. Hold
see,
up.
it worked. It's on the psyche, bro.
It is.
It's the psyche.
It is. Man, you ready for this to go down?
Hell yeah. Well, you saw my preparation. And you know what, guys? I'm not even afraid to share it. This is what I did today. I'm going to show everyone what I did today. I colored my hair. I did my eyebrows. I put on eye patches. It's all good, kid.
Hey.
I'm ready. Bring it.
Okay. Oh man, I think we got the other contestant here, man. But listen, before I bring him on, there are 64 people in here, man. They want to see this go down. There are 64 people in here. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Make sure y'all hit the like button. And for anybody that missed it, during the debate, the creators are not going to engage with the chat. While they're speaking, I will be in the chat, but the creators will not engage with the chat. If you have a question that you want answered, there will be a final super chat round. If you put a super chat in there, I will store your question and ask it in the bonus round. So I'm about to bring in the other contestant. Anthony. These guys disguised as each other. What is happening?
Yo, what the hell?
What is happening here?
You know what happened? I went and cut my hair, and I can't do that little curly shit that he has on his head. I couldn't do that.
What is going on? We got Anthony
Barreto
in the building.
The good thing is I could be Joe, but Joe could never be me.
That's right.
Okay.
That's
Okay. All right. Now,
see?
I got you in here, and I know I'm gonna let Joe go first on this one because Joe was in here first. Man, for the people who don't know you, I know everybody know you, but go ahead and introduce you and your channel, Joe.
Hola, mi gente. Joe Barreto live from the Credit Card Connection Studios in rainy Hackensack, New Jersey. I'm the oldest brother in the game doing this at 58. I'm hyped. I'm ready. Look, I worked out for this one, Anthony. You going down, bro. Down.
All right, Anthony Venture. For the people that know you, man, we know you're a superstar in this game. We know that you are a superstar in this game. But for the micro chance that somebody in here doesn't know you, will you please introduce yourself to the audience?
Hello, everyone. My name is Anthony Venture. I try to talk about all things credit card points and miles. I try to use this stuff and travel every now and again and have a good time. And I just think that I'm better than the guy across from me. If you want to know who I am, I'm somebody who's better and is going to win this debate. If you see my name on here, it's undefeated and undisputed. I'm 3-0, and it's going to be 4-0 by the end of tonight. I'm just saying.
Okay, he says it'll be a Curry 3-0.
Well, we'll see about that. Again, like I told everybody, I'm the master debater, and you are the master.
I can tell by your right hand. I can tell you're a righty.
That's right. The hands from the thumbnails.
Yeah. In my hand.
Oh my goodness. All right, guys, man. We wouldn't be the moderator if I ain't have to get this thing in line, man.
Let's
Listen.
do this.
All
Let's
right,
do
look.
this.
Since I don't want to flip a coin, we're gonna do rock, paper, scissors.
Oh,
We're
even
gonna
better
do
at
rock,
that.
paper, scissors, and that decides who gets the advantage of answering the first question in the first round. If you guys didn't hear, the way that it's going to work is whoever answers the first question in the first round, the other creator answers the first question in the next round.
Fair enough.
All
You know
right?
what? You know what, Sledge? I feel so just secure and sure. I'm going to let the birthday boy go first.
Sound good. Sound good. You okay with that, Anthony? No rock, paper, scissors? You good with it?
I mean, to be honest, I'm also a rock, paper, scissors champion. I really was hoping we could.
Oh, so that's fine. You know what? I don't care.
You know,
Win,
I've
lose,
never
doesn't
lost.
matter.
So.
A rock and a paper. That's some country bumpkin crap.
Let's
Go ahead. That's from South Cracker-Lacka. Go ahead. Bring it.
Let's not make fun of majority of the South now. I mean, come on. Let's not isolate our fan base.
Are you ready, Joe?
Ready.
All right. Let's go. Rock,
paper,
scissors, shoot. All
Easy
right.
money.
Best out three. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
I thought so.
Paper covers rock.
Yeah.
Already.
So
0-1.
Now
we got 3 rounds, don't we?
Now, Joe, you get to pick if you go first or you're going to defer it.
You know what? I'm going to defer it still because I'm just that kind of guy.
All right. First question goes to Anthony Venture. The question is, what's more important, the sign-up bonuses or long-term reward strategies? And why do you say that?
Okay. So just so I'm clear, this is the start of the debate. Joe's going to take the opposite side that I say. Right?
Are we doing that? Is
No,
it the opposite?
It's just whatever you feel.
Whatever.
He can come with the same thing.
Oh, okay. So in my opinion, at least for the first probably at least 10 years of someone's credit card journey, I think you can definitely outweigh any credits and benefits that come on any card with the welcome offers on said cards. I think if you just only focus on that for the first 10 years of your entire game, I think you will beat out anybody who's worrying about the smaller money, even that be it multipliers and the credits and benefits on there. And I can go into some of the math on that, but like it would be impossible to win against constant welcome offers, even if it was only just like a few cards every single year. You would immediately do better than anybody else that's worrying about the small money, the credits. That's my position on the matter. All
right, that's your position on it. Do you need me to repeat the question, Joe?
No, I'm okay with that because I totally disagree with Anthony on this one, especially when you talk about somebody who just turned 28, 10 years of it puts him at 18. He didn't start this at 18. Let's just get real, mi gente. All right. So first and foremost, for me, you just can't count on the sign-up bonus because here's the thing. When you're early on in the game, you don't have the credit history to get as many sign-up bonuses because they're not going to give them to you. You might get those, $100 catch-all cards. If that's what you're looking for and the sign-up bonus is $100, that's fine, Anthony. I get it. Then I'm with you. But right now, it should be more about how it affects you in your daily life when you're in your mid-20s and you're preparing for the 30s, the really important 30s. You want to set a foundation for yourself, and that has to come with the perks and benefits and how it suits your daily life. It should suit your daily life. You shouldn't have to suit the card.
Oh, Joe came out like a politician.
Yes.
So wrong. Can I rebuttal? Can I do a rebuttal?
Go ahead with your rebuttal.
So wrong. It's coming from the guy when I first met him and we did our first live stream together. He was like, "Oh, I've only been in the credit card game for a year and a half," and he somehow accumulated 13 cards in 12 months, something like that. You accumulated 1.5 million credit card points that you've now used to pay some taxes off. I think you used it to pay for a car. You've been able to put a down payment on a new Tesla with all of the points that you've been able to earn just from the welcome offers in the last 2 years that you've been in the game. I don't think the same could be said from a couple of your Dell credits that you've had over time. So it's like that sounds nice coming from you. I know you make it sound very nice, but the truth of the matter is you've cashed out thousands and thousands of dollars worth of some of your points, and that was exponentially more than any credit you've gotten in the last couple of years. I mean, it's irrefutable.
When you're talking to a guy who's in his 50s, we're talking, you mentioned a guy, early on. That's how this all started. So someone early in their credit, you said 10, in your first 10 years, that's what you said. So that's why I said I put you at 18. All right.
No. You started at 56, 55.
No,
your next 10 years.
I've had a credit history since before your parents dated.
Oh,
so that's what I'm saying.
That's wrong. Absolutely not. You've been in this. I'm talking about the welcome offer game. You have not been playing the welcome offer game for 40 years.
Oh no, hell no, that didn't exist. That's right. Why I said. But it proves my point. That proves my point. No, that didn't exist, and I was still able to build a substantial credit history and get, the house, the this, the that, without the sign-up bonuses. I have credit cards that those companies don't even exist, from Ohio somewhere, all right, that charge me 40% interest probably.
Listen, we're not worried about those
things. Okay,
things.
You see?
The argument is
there a time limit, Sledge? Is there a time limit?
We go into the next question. Go into the next question. 60. Let's go to the next question. All right. All right. Anthony, of all the cards that you know about,
hey, don't I go first? Don't I go first on this one?
No, next round.
Yeah,
I thought that was the second round already.
Yeah, that was just the first. That was just the second question.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, Joe, take the Valium, Joe.
Three questions first round.
I did.
All right. Out of all the cards that you know about, which card offers the best value for everyday spending? Name your top pick, and why did you pick that card?
So what do we classify as everyday spending? Is this groceries and stuff?
It could be, yeah. I mean, I would put groceries, gas, transit, restaurants, if that's what people do. It all depends on what you think is everyday spending for you and the majority of people.
It's tough to say because my answer will ruin me, because my everyday spend card is my Sapphire Preferred, because I do little tricks and I get my online groceries. I get 3x back on all of my groceries at Publix, and that's like literally my entire everyday. Like that's all I'm really buying on a day-to-day basis. I plug my car into the house. I don't pay for gas. But if I had to answer like true like card that I think most people can get and get plus positive value in the world, is probably just the Capital One Saver. I would say Capital One Saver, $0 annual fee, get your 3x back or 3% back on your groceries, your dining, a couple of the categories. I think for the most part that'll do best for the majority of people if we only have like one card. Like obviously you're not covering gas, but if you can only have one, that'll probably give you the most value over the course of a year from the majority of spend, which is probably your groceries and dining, I would say.
No, okay. And not only that, he broke out the card. He broke the card out on us, Joe.
I'm ready.
So, and I could see the Saver is a good card, and that's a card that we've all known that I tried to get and unable to get at this point. Yikes. So, for me, it would be the American Express Green card, which is now beautifully laid out in my Lion card here. Plug. Coming out of my beautiful extra wallet, plug. All right. So though I the green, like Anthony, I don't pay for gas. I charge at home. So that's a non-factor for me, right? I use my PayPal card for supermarket spend at 5%. Everything else goes through American Express Green because of transit. When you live in a city, in an area like me, tolls, parking, bridges, you name it, it hits it. Plus 3 times on dining matches the Saver and is only 1 point less than the Gold. So actually it is my biggest points earner in the American Express ecosystem. And if we're going to talk about ecosystems, American Express's ecosystem is better than Capital One's ecosystem, which said person just said the Saver was the better card. So I'm going with the strength of the card and the ecosystem as opposed to just a card that unfortunately people in their 50s, it's harder for them to get. So the young buck on that side got a saver card because, you know, he was able to get one. And unfortunately for me, I'm unable to get one, Sledge. So that's that.
Oh, I see. So we're talking about 18-year-olds, but now all of a sudden we're talking about 55. The retirement community is what we're talking about. We weren't talking about 18. Now we're talking about
ageism. Can you knock somebody, please? Just knock it.
Knock a
all right. A point off for Anthony for ageism.
Look, I would love to know. I would love to know how you're getting your annual feedback on your spend from the.
Oh, easy.
Starting
clear.
from a negative.
It's clear. Pun intended. Really, clear. I go to clear. I scan my eye. I scan my finger. I do a show. I get to the front of TSA. Bam. Especially out of shit show Newark. Forget about it. That's right. I said forget about it for Jersey.
How many times have you been to a clear, Joe? I mean, how many?
6.
How many would you say?
Six in the last year, yeah.
So you would say that was worth 150?
100%. Bro, here's the problem. And I kid you not, Anthony, it's nothing to do with the debate. We've jokingly said this before. I pay for the convenience. And when last year, when we were in New Orleans and you were sweating on that 45-minute TSA pre-check line, and I had one person in front of me in clear. Guess who didn't sweat in New Orleans? That's why. So it's a convenience. Fair enough. Would I pay soon to be $209? No, not at all. I won't.
Jeez.
So it comes with the card. So that's what I'm saying. I wouldn't pay for it.
So you wouldn't pay for it, but you know, easily you can just get the saver and you can profit from day one. I can go buy 1 penny worth of something. And I will profit day one. I don't have to worry about signing up for anything. Am I overpaying now? Like, is this credit going to match the 209? Probably. But you know, you have to go through so many hoops. And actually, I was on that clear line in New Orleans as well. There was nobody in front of you, so you're right. It's very fast. I remember Calby was in TSA behind them.
And you know what? Mr. MIA here could tell you in Miami, oh, for the love of God, that is gold there because that line is ridiculous. Everybody and their mother has TSA pre-check. So, but I'm going to give you that one. Okay, fair enough.
All right, this thing heating up, y'all. It's heating up, y'all.
Getting upset.
I got the venture power right now. See,
we about to go
drawing on this. My pecs are even harder right now. Look at this. Whoa.
We're going to the final question of the first round.
These are the meds talking. I'm being honest with you.
Oh, yeah. I got to tell y'all that Joe was on meds. So, yeah. Woo. You know how he is normally. So, you know how he is today. All right. At Mr. Venture, which premium travel card is the most overrated right now? And which one is the most underrated?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
I think 100% platinum card overrated. I think Aspire card underrated still. I think not enough people talk about the Aspire and how it can actually cover like a large portion of your travel experience. Not all of it, you know, like the platinum card is going to cover your lounge access and stuff like that. But like the Aspire is giving you guaranteed you're getting a couple nights every single year in could be a very, very high level hotel. It can even cover the food while you're there. It can cover your clear. So it comes with clear as well. So, you know, Joe's clear debate there. It can give you that. It's going to cover at least as many times as you can travel blanket. You know, it's going to cover you with that airline credit. So it's like you can, with enough time, get some flights with it. You can get hotel stays with it. You can cover ease of access through the airport lounges wherever clear exists. I think it's one of the most powerful cards, and I think it gets more powerful if you can get more and more of them. I actually see a world where like owning 3 to 5 Aspires kind of like makes sense. But I think the platinum card, at least for me, I actually do think it's probably the most overrated, only because most of the value that most people attributed to it seems to just hinge upon the fact that, oh, I need lounge access, you know. And most of the time when they say that, they say Delta or Centurion, whereas I don't know, a lot of these guys who are doing it really big, they travel abroad, they never talk about a platinum card because there are no Delta Sky Clubs or Centurion lounges in most of those different airports. So they just use Priority Pass. And it's like, if you're just looking for Priority Pass, do what Sledge says, get the Altitude Connect, and that'll get you everything you need, you know, abroad and stuff like that. So I would say probably the most overrated. Even like FHR is great, but you can replicate that with MasterCard, you know, or if you have another, you know, premium card or something like that. So I think that's the most overrated. Aspire is most underrated in my opinion. Definitely.
Okay. Hey, Joe, before you go, We got 104 people in the
Insane.
building, man.
Let's go.
Listen,
Insane.
please hit the like button.
Yo,
Subscribe.
please, for the
These
love
guys-
of God.
Listen, these guys have never seen these questions. They are talking off the top of their head.
Talking out of
The only
ass.
person who knew these questions was me. They knew the rules to the debate, and that's it, man. At least give us a like. And for the people, we have like 4 or 5 super chats in here.
There's a
Please.
Brolic super chat in there.
Listen, I'm going to get back to those super chats. But anybody who's giving super chat, please drop a question with those super chats. I want to ask those questions to these creators at the end in the bonus round. So I appreciate everybody who's dropping the super chats, but drop a question with those super chats so you can get your question answered at the end or the bonus round that we have coming up. So,
And could I just add that everyone, we're only sharing this on Sledge's channel. So do me a favor, if you haven't already, subscribe to Sledge.
Oh yeah.
Because he was the guy that put this together. Everybody said this was never going to happen. And here we are. It's happening. So I'm going back to the question. Anthony, that was a very good point you made. For me, the most overrated card, premium card, is the Capital One Venture X, because some people have actually commented over the last couple of months, they call it a mid-tier card. And yet that's supposed to be almost a $400 premium card. Yeah, no, I have one because of the key.
Yep.
So, but the thing is, it doesn't really give you status. You're still paying $400. They made it more difficult. They used to have one of the easiest credits to use at $300. Now you got to do it through their portal, right? Everything is 2 times, okay? But so is the Blue Business Plus card from Amex. And their sign-up bonuses kind of tend to get stuck at 75,000 miles, right? That's the max. Whereas, to me, the best card, because I have one version of it or another, is the American Express Platinum, whether it's the business or the personal. But in this case, I'll say personal, because you're able to get those sign-up bonuses of 150, 200,000, which is huge in Amex's ecosystem. The clear credit again comes through. You get gold status at Hilton and Marriott without having a card. It gives you the breakfast that everybody raves about at Hilton. Even if you have their basic Hilton Honors card, you still have gold status because of the platinum. One thing I've missed, and I'm going to be straight up with you because I never thought I was going to miss it, is the ridiculous entertainment credit, because right now I don't have it. I have the business version. 240 is 240. Let's be fair, And even the Walmart Plus, as embarrassing as I'm going to admit it right now, I went out and ordered that Walmart Plus through another card that gave me a discount because I got used to ordering from freaking Walmart. I don't go to Walmart, but I order from them, and I get Paramount Plus. So it's those perks, and being able, where I live, the lounges do exist. So whether it's, especially out of the New York airports, the Centurion lounges are great, right? So it's just to have that other option. And one thing, and I'm not going to it is the car rental insurance. To me, it's better than the one from Capital One. It's still better than the one from Chase, even though they fixed it. So to me, the Platinum is still the king of the premium cards. And right now, it's technically affordable if Chase comes in with that $795. It's still more affordable. So that's my piece.
No, I mean, I'm with you on that. I won't give you any pushback on that. I'll wait till we have something more divisive. I will say Walmart Plus is legit. Like I remember Walmart Plus members, you actually get like I think they like fix your flat tires or something like that for free if you're a Walmart Plus member. I think even if you like order batteries, like the 12-volt batteries in the front, they'll install it for you for free if you're a Walmart Plus member. So like you actually get a lot in the auto repair shop.
And gas, you get the, if I had gas, when I go to Florida, I go into one of those gas stations, Murphy or Walmart, and get them 10 cents cheaper. So what the hell?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Hey, I can't knock the Walmart Plus, but yeah, for sure. All right, that was round one, y'all. That was round one, y'all. What do y'all
That's
think?
cool.
That was round one. What do y'all think? Put in the chat who y'all think, who y'all got winning right now. It's funny because I put two polls out, right? It was so weird. I put a poll out when we first talked about this, about who was gonna win. That poll, I couldn't tell you the specifics on it, but that poll had Anthony winning 60-something% to 30.
Whoa.
Yesterday, I put a poll out. That poll had Joe winning 60-something% to 30-something.
What? What did you do?
I don't know how that
Nothing.
came about, but it's obvious both of you guys got fans that watch my channel at separate times. So
Wow.
yeah.
Public perception, Joe. Very nice. Manipulating the audience. That's beneath you, Joe. I think that's beneath you.
He's
Very
from the
nice.
Bronx, bro. It's my DNA.
Well, maybe people would like me more if I had this wig on. Maybe I should wear
Oh,
it.
goodness.
Maybe I got to be more mi gente.
They gonna unsubscribe as soon as they click on. What's happening on this channel?
Yeah.
All right, Joe, it's on you this round. First question.
Let's roll.
Okay. Do you believe that holding credit cards with annual fees is the best route to take, or do you think people should avoid cards with annual fees?
Okay.
For most people.
Okay, I was just gonna say, because there's two ways to look at it.
Yeah.
I'd be a hypocrite and say you shouldn't have cards with annual fees when I have just continue to add to my annual fees and I'm banging on $2,500 or more a year, right? What the annual fees, in my opinion, do get you is depending on what point in your life you're at. If you are at the point in your life where you have that extra money to spend, where you're paying more for an experience, where you want to prepay for it, for instance, then a card that you're paying for an annual fee that gives you more perks and benefits and maybe a better multiplier or a better room upgrade or whatever is best for you. But if you're new in the game, or if you've got a lot of responsibility and you really don't have that extra income and and things are expensive like they are now, there are a ton of solid cards out there with no annual fee. Anthony showed one earlier, the Saver One. The Saver card is a phenomenal card. I would love to have that card, right? You have the Blue Business card that we talk about all the time. It's a fantastic card. It's the keeper card of Amex if you're going to keep it, right? And you have, even a lot of people go back and forth, but a card like the Chase Freedom Flex that you're going to get those categories. Discover is another one that you can kill it in the first year. So yeah, there's a lot of cards, but to me, I don't want to say one is better than the other. I think it depends on what point in your life you're at, what your goals are, what your family situation is, how much money you're bringing in. And I had somebody ask me today off of Discord which card they should get next because they have a big expense coming in October for taxes. And the first thing I said was, are you traveling? No, not really. Okay, so that eliminated for me a lot of the cards that I normally would have said, right? I said, do you any hotel preferences? Not really. So I eliminated that. So then you're going to stick to the everyday where your card, and you can get great everyday cards like the Wells Fargo autograph, no money out of pocket a year, 3 times on a lot of things. And you still get benefits like I got back here with the concert back in September. So that's my answer.
Wow. Mr. Venture.
Yeah, so I think again, all of this has to be caveat of what the framing is. My framing is somebody is like doing well. I think the majority of people in our space are doing well. They have their finances in order. They have travel funds, and they have a nest egg and stuff like that. They have money in investments and all that. So I just assume someone's already like doing like fairly well in this space. So if I'm talking to that person, I'm like, honestly, after first 4 core cards, whatever like that, get it. Yeah, honestly, like the annual fee cards, whether it be as low as 95 all the way up to $695, I think you're gonna do really well. Kind of in a long term, I think if you just hit them all up very quickly, get all of those points of miles, and then cancel them a year after, so you don't have to keep getting hit with those annual fees. if we're talking about just getting welcome offers, like forget it. If you could just do what I did many years ago back during the pandemic, I got the green, gold, and platinum all within a year of each other. If I did that today, I probably would have close to like 300 to 350,000 membership reward points, and that would supplement so many freaking travels over time that like that $1,000 in annual fees would pay for like tens of $1,000s of really nice flights or even hotels if that's what you're gonna go crazy with for the future. So I just feel like, yeah, if you got all your cards down, yeah, 524, all these different things. But yeah, I think largely if you just go after some really heavy hitting annual fee cards, given financials are fine, you're going to do really well very quickly. I'm actually really excited because my wife has never gotten any charge cards. She's never got the green, gold, and the platinum. So I'm like, she's got a lot of runway. But I would be lying if I didn't say like the $1,000 would hurt a little bit, but I think it still pales in comparison to the amount of value we'd get back from those welcome offers. So I think annual fees for a bit, and then do what I do, cancel them all. I only have like $400 in annual fees right now, maybe less actually.
Wow, man, you brought me back because I feel like me and you kind of got the green, gold, platinum around the same time, like in that same timeline. So yeah, man, If we did it these days, it'd be totally different. I don't know how the comments got on the screen, but
oh, wow.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask you what the hell happened there. Okay.
Okay, I got it. But yeah. So Joe, do you got a rebuttal for that? I mean, you guys pretty much answered it much the same.
I think, in my opinion, I think this is pretty much a wash. I think both of us were going to answer pretty much that same way because we're both good kids from New York.
For sure. All right, back to you, Joe.
Yes.
Should beginners start with cashback cards or travel cards? Defend your choice.
I'm going to say this generation, travel cards. Because look at the people that we have, you and I have coming up June 10th. Jordan and Jason, Jordan from Jordan Rules of Credit, Jason Sunny Money, Spencer Johnson, all these young guys that are in this space that travel, that show you the hacks, that show you how they can go on, get married and go on a honeymoon. Matter of fact, and I'm amazed at what he does. Look at Anthony traveling and doing these timeshare and like getting 75,000 points off a timeshare presentation and using that for future travel. So I would say get a card that, and you could start off with a travel card like a Chase Sapphire Preferred, doesn't break the bank, $95, or you can do a Wells Fargo Journey and still pay that. Even I don't think it's the greatest card, but it's still a travel card, or even an Amex Gold at $350 or the green at $150. So I think travel right now, because if you look on social media, and even those of us that have kids in that age, a lot of them do more travel now than anything else, and it's aspirational, and they promote a lot of it at a young age. So I would say at least one good travel card, but then later on add a cashback for your daily expenses.
Okay. Anthony?
This is tough because now I to make this more enticing, I think I should just take the opposing side. So you're gonna have to. All right,
I did that on purpose.
I'm not supposed to look at the chat, but Philmo's right. Cashback is whack. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. So you know what? I'll lay out the argument for cashback. I think initially, I think largely from what I've seen, Joe's right with this generation. I'll never say Joe's right, about anything in the rest of this debate, but I'll say he's right with this generation wanting to travel. They want to own their time. Most people growing up now are all entrepreneurs. Everybody wants to have their free time and they go travel, right? However, with that, I do also see a lot of people of that generation, technically mine, that do go into a lot of debt. They actually do go into a lot of debt. There's a new thing going around right now. My wife was telling me, it's called what is it, like Peter or something? I don't know. It's something. Basically, F it, book it. And so they're not really concerned about how much money a particular thing is. They say we're only going to live once, so you might as well just book the trip. So it's like if they have more and more incentives to book more and more trips, they might just go more and more in debt and think about that later on in life. So one thing I think that might be smart for people who are just getting started is to get cards that technically are cash back, but can be converted down the line. What I mean by that is, like, maybe you do get a saver card, right? And you earn 3% cash back, but maybe you never actually use that cash back. Maybe you just hold it into your account. And maybe some point down the line, you watch a video talking about the Capital One Venture card or a Venture X card. And then you'll actually have the ability to turn that cash back into travel, miles, and then you could use that for your travel in the future. So maybe in the meantime, have a $0 annual fee where you have no overhead. You can plus positive on your first, grocery trip, visit, or even like a Chase Freedom Flex, Freedom Unlimited. Technically, some people will cash out. Like my brother-in-law does not want to travel. He has 250,000 Chase points, and now he just wants to cash them out at 2,500. He has no care at all to travel. But that, again, those points can be used and be transferred out once you get a Sapphire preferred down the line, and lock that ability to transfer to Hyatt, all these other things, all these different airlines and stuff like that. So if I have to say cash back, it's because maybe this generation is making more and more people go into debt. As I see a little bit of people buy now, pay later, maybe get a card that earns cash back technically now, guarantee maybe some future stays in the future once you have like those annual fee cards. So I'll say the cash back for the beginners. I'll take that side, sure.
Okay, awesome, man. That was too good. I'm glad I don't have to vote on this. Like, I'm glad I don't have to vote on this. So, Joe, you said your stake. You gonna leave it at that?
I'm gonna leave it at that because I think the more that I see, especially online, because I'm online quite a bit, and I have a lot of former students that do that. They travel. Like, I have kids of mine that I used to say a couple of years ago, I kid you not, yo, you just graduated college and you work at Starbucks. How are you in Dubai? Right? I swear, this was before I met all you guys. I kid you not. And then I'm like, oh crap. They're like, yo, B, I got this card. And then ironically, when I started doing it, I was like, oh damn, had I known this back then, what I know now. So I think that's part of it. I just think, look, my kid is 24. And I told you guys jokingly a couple of weeks ago when Spirit canceled his flight and then he tasted Delta out of LaGuardia for the first time. He's like, Dad, I'm never going back to Newark and I'm never doing Spirit again. It's that, it is what it is.
For sure. All right. We go on to, is this the third question of the second round? It's the third question of the second round. It's on you again, Joe.
All right.
Is it ever smart to carry a balance on a credit card to build credit? Why or why not?
Yes, because we all know the game. We all know that keeping a zero balance on everything, especially at the beginning, the credit card company is going to be like, okay, so what, right? You got to show them, and the only way you can show them is by carrying some sort of balance. Now, the difference is carrying $100 balance on $1,000 card or carrying a $10,000 balance across a $100,000 credit line, right? You're still at 10%, but there's a difference. Can you pay? If you're a businessman, you might carry a balance every single month because it's your business, right? But there's write-offs that come with that. There's responsibilities that come. There's different things. But I think especially early on, carrying a small balance of something. And that's why even having to do nothing with credit card. When I was young, my dad made me take out a student loan to fund part of my education so that I had a credit history early on. I did the same with my son. When he started, he took out a small loan from school every year so that he had his credit history, shows that he could pay it back and so on. So to me, yes, it's important.
Okay.
I'm gonna say he's wrong on that one. I'm gonna say that's a bad take. I'm gonna say it's a really bad take, Joe. That's a horrible take. I'm sorry to tell you. Now, I actually have a funny story with this. Actually, when I first got into the credit game, when I was 21, so it's a good 7 years now. When I got my first couple of cards, one was Capital One secured, another one was the Kohl's card. And the Kohl's card, I remember when I got it, I didn't really know much about like how to build credit. I just knew I needed a credit card to build some sort of credit, at least in this way. So I remember I spoke to my girlfriend at the time, now wife. I said, all right, let's go to Kohl's. We have to go run up the balance on this card, and then I'm just gonna like pay it off every single month. So in my head, I envisioned go to Kohl's, get a bunch of clothes that we didn't need, put like $200 on that, and I would pay like, I don't know, $10 every single month for the next year. And that's what would build my credit. Come to find out, I researched a little bit like a month later, and I realized, I was like, wait a second, that doesn't even make any sense. I just get the card, use it for, even just literally $10 a month on your card, pay it off, and just do that for a year and a half. You'll have a 750 credit score. Like, it's really that easy. And I don't think you have to worry too much. Like, a lot of people on YouTube are very worried about like credit scores and utilization, all these different things. Like, if you just got a secured card and you just did nothing but bought a pack of gum every month for the next 2 years, you'd be able to buy a house and get the best loan rates possible, no matter what. So no, I don't think you need to carry a balance month after month after month. Like, you could just pay it off multiple times, because that's what I did and that's what she did, and then we were able to build our score. So I think I say no to never have a balance. I think in this question.
I can see the look on Joe's face. He got a rebuttal for this one.
I have to be a little nasty.
No, here's the thing. Do I want people to carry a balance and put themselves in a hole? Hell no. I'm on my kid's ass left and right for that, right? But the reality is, in certain situations, you're going to carry a balance. I don't, we all know, and we've said this a million times, you go on any channel and they're going to say, oh, I have zero balance. Yeah. Okay, that's great for you. But as you get older, you might carry a balance, right? That's me right now. And I have no shame in saying that. But I'm saying the question was when you're to build your credit when you're younger. And what I'm saying is, from a lot of data points that we've seen in the past, if you don't show any type of balance ever, then what are you building? My point is, carry something small so that people could see it being paid off and back to zero, paid off, the spend and back to zero, like that. That's what I consider carrying a balance. Not that you're going to pay 27%, on monthly, month after month after month on a high amount of spend. But in order to get that mortgage, that car in the future, you have to have some sort of history, be it student loan, personal loan, whatever other type of loan. You're going to have some sort of balance somewhere. And people are going to see that as the foundation for a good, solid credit history.
Anthony?
I just disagree that you need that. I don't think you need to show a balance to build your credit score. I think you just pay it off, and that'll always report, and that'll build your score.
Okay, fair enough.
So I'm gonna keep it that way.
All right, now that was the end of round 3, y'all. That was the end of round 3. So, like I say, we got a couple more super chats in here. But if you drop a super chat, please leave a question with the super chat, because we're going to go over those questions in the bonus round. Please leave a question.
How many people do we have now? Because I can't see it on my phone.
Right now we have I probably haven't even got to all of them. We got 9 super chats right now.
No, and how many people live?
Man, we have 110 people in the building.
Whoa. When do we get to use profanity? What round is that?
You already passed it.
Oh.
I was going to say.
Yeah. Somebody already got it for you. Here you go.
Hell no.
There we go. There we go. Yes, the bonus round. Anybody who drop a super chat, please put a question with it, and we're gonna the creators are going to answer those. We got Chaz Money Minutes in the building, and I want to throw this one out there. We got a few creators in here, and we have a few credit card. I want to call y'all credit card experts in the comment section. I challenge anybody to challenge Chad to a debate. I'm not debating them, right? I'm not debating them, but I challenge anybody that's in the chat to challenge Chad to a debate. And if you up for the challenge, go ahead and put it down in the comment section. And we about to go on to round 3.
Let's do
All
it.
right, round 3. Okay, we back on Anthony.
Yo, I have to say this.
Go ahead.
Boxer says profanity goes to the Bronx.
Just wait till I break out the Staten Island slang.
Oh, damn.
There we go.
There is
Here
no.
we go. All right, we too, Anthony. Question number 1 for round 3. Should people aim for 524 flexibility or focus on maximum benefits outside of Chase? In other words, should they prioritize Chase to stay under 524 to get those cards, or should they maximize benefits, using Chase and outside of Chase?
Okay, so can I frame this in my own life at the moment where I'm teeter. Okay, so in my own life at the moment, I'm at I'm at 424 at the moment, and the only reason I have thought about staying under is because my 4 years is going to be up on my Sapphire Preferred, so I can get another welcome offer on the Sapphire Preferred after 4 years, and that's going to be in December. However, I think I may have thrown out that idea recently because there are just so many freaking cards that I want to get right now for a million different travels that I'm trying to book in the next 12 months, or I already have booked in the next 12 months. Particularly like recently, I've been going really ham with AA cards. I want to get some Alaska cards, both personal and business. There is possibility. Me and Joe were talking about it of the premium Alaska card. Seems like it'll be interesting. So many different credit cards with so many different welcome offers that can supplement like an insane amount of travel over the next couple of years. That I think I've pretty much decided to just say kind of screw it and just go well above 524. I mean, it helps too because my wife's 4 years also coming up, so I'm like, all right, if we can get one, when that time comes, cool. I'll wait a little bit longer, but I will say, at least in my own life, I think it does make sense to forego 524 for the vast overwhelming majority of points and miles you could be earning through millions of other ecosystems and the smaller ecosystems for future travels and stuff like that. So I'll put blanket that you can do that. Obviously, that's also with the ink train, kind of going away. So, it's a little bit harder to get those done, and that's what I did last year. But I would say, yeah, don't prioritize 524. Prioritize getting the vast majority of points and miles for your future travel. I think you'll do way better with that, and you'll feel more free. I mean, you feel like you're in a prison, under 524. You're like, what the hell? Now I can't apply for any more cards. Why would I let that, dictate my life? I guess.
Joe?
I'm going to have to agree with him. I think it's funny. Again, before I met all you guys, and I started doing this at the end of 2022, literally December, the first 4 cards I applied for were all Amex cards, except for that one Chase Hyatt card because I wanted a hotel card. But it was the Platinum, the Gold, the Hilton. It didn't matter to me, right? Because the reality is, unless there's a specific Chase card and then you're stuck in that number, what's the point in waiting out for it, right? I want the IHG, and we talked about this. I want the IHG, either premium card, the business version, whatever. I have status with them already, but I want to get them with not only 140,000 points, I want 175. And I think we talked about that. So for me, don't lock yourself in. There are people, though, the only difference I can see where people might want to do it is if they already have a really big relationship with Chase, business-wise, or if they have accounts with Chase and they're into that ecosystem, or if they're Hyatt loyalists or United loyalists, then you might want to stay there. But for those of us in this game, I think you need to be more diverse and expand it. So at some point, you get the one Chase card that's really the one that's meaningful, which is usually going to be one that gives you the portal for more money, right? So a preferred or reserve, because all the other ones, look, the ink cards, like Anthony was saying, I don't have a regular flex or unlimited. I have their business version, which I can roll up into points because I have that one preferred or the one reserve. So I wouldn't waste my time with it. And I tell people all the time, look, you could apply for a Chase card if you want. Don't worry about 524. It doesn't really matter. But when you have as many cards as we all do right now, at some point, you're going to have to say, okay, if I really want that one card, I got to wait to go under, right? How many times have we see Stan on his live goes, I'm at 324, right? Because you want that one card, or or to get a Marriott card to turn it into a Ritz-Carlton card, you got to be under. That's the only one really that kills me, is that in order to product change to the Ritz-Carlton, you still got to get that Chase Marriott card. And to do that, you got to be under. So they kind of put the screws to you, but you shouldn't have to be beholden to them.
Hey, before we go on to the next question, man, we got a couple volunteers for chat in here.
Oh, yeah.
Points with Philip. Filmo said, hell no.
Legit.
Rod from Points Blank Travel. Let me see if we got anybody
The first one was Juan. All the way at the bottom, it says, I'll throw my name in the hat. Enjoy a lively debate anytime.
Who said that?
Juan Garcia at 9.
Juan Garcia? Okay, let's go.
He was the first one. He was like, I could have sworn he wrote, Chad is a punk. I got him. Chad is nothing.
No.
I'll meet him in Miami. That's what I said.
Talk your stuff. Talk your stuff, Juan. That's what I'm talking about. Talk your stuff,
I didn't know
Juan.
he got down.
That was a side chat.
Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. All right, cool. So we go work something out for another one. Might not be for a month or so, but we go work something out.
This is cool. I'm gonna be honest with you, and I'm not just saying this to say it, but this is just badass.
Hey, you know what?
Honestly, this is badass.
Put it together, but I wanted to put it together correctly. You know what I mean? I wanted to put it together correctly, man, and I appreciate you two guys for being the first one to having the nuts to get up here and do it. So, yeah.
Very fun.
All right. Where the heck am I at? I don't know. I already lost. Okay. Second question for round 3. Who was it on? Was it on Anthony or Joe, man? I lost track.
I think maybe.
Anthony,
yeah.
right?
It's on Anthony. Okay. How do you balance opening new credit cards versus maintaining your old ones for your credit age?
Can you repeat
interesting.
Repeat that one for me?
Okay. The question is, how do you balance opening new cards versus maintaining your old ones for your credit age? Because, you know, once you open a new card, it cuts into your credit age.
Right.
And it could eventually lower your credit score.
Yep.
So this question is mainly towards someone that's new to credit. But how would you tell them to balance this?
Okay.
So I would definitely say, at least looking at my own life, I realized that I don't manage that many different things. Like, I don't look at very many details. In fact, a lot of people on video like are upset with me sometimes when I don't mention like how many hard pulls I had or what's my 524s. That a lot of the times I don't think about it. I'm not even looking at my score. I'm not looking at any of these little details. I kind of just see a card and I'll go for it. So the one thing that I found over my time is, like, honestly, for the first 3 years, I accumulated like probably, well, even think about it, 21, first 3 years. No, actually, that would be the first year only. So like for the first year, I got a Quicksilver, I got a Capital One Secured, I got a Kohl's card, I got the Merrick Bank card that me and Sledge have. And then probably on year 2 to 3 is when I got the green, the gold, and the platinum, Hilton card, Sapphire Preferred. Like, basically, and then so I'll say it like this. I got all those different credit cards in those first 2 years, I would say, probably 5+. And the one thing that I found is that ever since then, I had cards that got canceled on me, like the Merrick Bank card. But what I realized was, once I had 5 cards with all like very similar ages, like from the beginning, first couple of years, that basically no matter what I did going forward from that point ever affected my credit score. Like, literally, how many cards have I canceled now? Ones that I've had since that time. Like, I canceled my platinum card, my gold. I've had these cards for 5 years. Technically, that lowered my age of credit dramatically because I got so many in the last year, really. And most of my scores are all 750 to 780. Like there has been no effect whatsoever. So the one thing I've always told people was just like, to me, it seems like nothing matters other than, obviously, like, not running up balances, just having, low balance or zero balance, getting your first 5 cards. And it seems like basically everything that you do after the first 5 cards seems to be nothing matters. Seems that every card that I got after that one never really dropped my score at all. In fact, most of the time it goes up. So I don't know. For me, it's like, get your first 5 cards that have no annual fees, kind of like I did. Keep them for life. You never have to worry about them. And then honestly, I don't really see a downside. I have yet to see a downside from just canceling whatever you want or applying for as many as you want past those 5 cards after the first like 2 years, I'll say personally. So that's just my life, I would say.
Okay. Jordan?
Anthony makes a good point. But as someone who has a freaking long ass history of 30 something years, I did see a difference in terms of the age of history when you open up a lot. And last year, when I opened up so many, it killed it. Like it went from technically my oldest card is 1989, and then it goes to where now it says like 10 or 11 years of credit history, which is weird. So what I've done is I'll product change within a line of cards so you're not losing the history. So what I would tell people that are concerned is if you're not really missing out on the points, if you want a card more for its benefits, then product change up or down, downgrade, upgrade, whatever, and do that because it maintains the history. Also, I would say do that if you're at a point, let's say in your late 20s, early 30s, where you're going to buy your house, where you're going to buy your car, where you're going to make bigger purchases, and you want to make sure the credit history is strong. You don't want to take a lot of hits early on because then it's going to take longer to recoup that time. So, yeah, you should keep no annual fee cards, right? You don't have to dead them because you're not paying for them. So like Anthony says, that's strong. 5 cards is a good credit foundation history to keep, 5 basic cards. But if you want a bigger purchase at the end or coming up in the next couple of years, don't ding yourself by applying willy-nilly because you are going to see that credit history go down. And a lot of the people at these banks and stuff aren't going to be like us and go, well, it really doesn't matter if you want to open up the next card. No, they want to see numbers, and they're going to see numbers. And if the number's lower than it should be, they're going to say, what happened? This person was thirsty for cards. This person was thirsty for this. So that's the only reason. So I would tell people product change or wait for that one card instead of just jumping on the newest thing. Wait for the card that you really want or need, as opposed to just the want for the sake of getting it and then canceling it a year later for points. So
okay. I think you guys both had valid points. Like I say, I'm glad I don't have to judge this one. So we're gonna get on to the third question, and I think because we're an hour in already in the round 4, we won't have one person goes. We're just gonna go to the next person.
Fair enough.
I don't want to keep her here all night, but let me see. So back to Anthony. Would you recommend ecosystem diversification versus ecosystem concentration? In other words, would you recommend for people to be loyal to one bank or spread their spending across various banks?
If this was a year ago, I would say, is this between, Lonnie or, X number?
Bro, you took it from here. We're like a mind meld. I'm calling it the lonification. Yes.
Oh, that's what you're saying. Yeah, the lonification, just all in Chase United, and just kept. I know he's diversifying now. He's got IHG and all these different things. But like a couple of years ago, it's just screw diversification, right? I think there's a world for that. For me, I just have to go with what I feel initially, and that's I think diversifying makes sense. I think there was a time where I thought I think that made a lot of sense, and I think for the right person, non-diversification makes sense. Just go really hard with one ecosystem, and it's kind of what I've done year after year. But if you're looking at it from like a broad view, I mean, you can't be loyal to one ecosystem because eventually you're going to run dry, and like your travels don't just end when your points end. You need to just keep applying for more and more different cards, keep earning on more and more different cards. It's like the first 6 years of this game, I never actually accumulated any Capital One miles. I just got my first, Capital One miles, recently, maybe like 6 months ago, something like that. As Lonnie just talked about, Lonnie.
His timing, what the hell?
Perfect timing, Lonnie.
Crazy.
So I just got my Capital One miles, and now I have them. I'm like, oh, wait a second, like I thought my Chase points were so unique for so long, or my Amex, points were so unique. Oh, I can transfer to Aeroplan. Come to find out, I look at miles. I'm like, oh no, you could actually transfer to Aeroplan from Capital One too. So it's like, no matter what, you're gonna find a use case for any of these point systems that you earn. So you might as well just get all of them, all of them over time, because they all interconnect. A lot of these banks, like people say, oh, the transfer partner is so much better, but like, I think a lot of that is just not knowing how valuable some of the other transfer partners actually are. Like I wouldn't have known, like if you asked me this 6 months ago, that my Aeroplan miles that I got from my Chase cards was going to help me book, ANA business class to and from Japan. Like I had no idea that was going to be a thing. And now that I know, I'm like, oh, wait a second. Any currency that could transfer there is valuable. Just so happens it's Capital One, Chase, and American Express as well. So it's just like, yeah, I think, yeah, no diversification in my world. I just think, sorry, no isolated in my world. I think get as many different ecosystems as you can. They're all eventually going to pay for some travels down the line, in my opinion.
Sure.
I agree a lot with what Anthony said. I would just say that let's say you have 3 ecosystems or 4. So Chase, Amex, Wells, and Citibank, right? You can have them and use each ecosystem for something different. And if you know you have something coming up, and let's say going back to Hyatt and you love Hyatt, or you fly United like Lonnie does, then you might move the spend over to those cards for that particular time, because that's what's coming up, right? The good thing about diversification is, let's say you wanted to just do Citi. Look at the what Citi just did last week, and if it gives you pause, now you're able to pivot and move somewhere else. So that's when the diversification comes in. Same with Wells. I got the Wells autograph to try out Wells, and yeah, I don't know. And again, I always tell people the weakness for me is the redemptions, right? So for me, when I talk about Wells and I see that they don't have as many transfer partners, or their wholesale partners choice, yeah, there could be worse things than I have any transfer partners, but I don't have to use Wells. I can keep them for cash back or something like that, and then move to another ecosystem that I want to focus on. So let's say Delta now, I'll use the Amex if I'm going to try to build up my Delta points, and if I'm going to pivot. Matter of fact, when I bought my tickets to Puerto Rico the other day, I thought of this, and I don't know if I told you, Anthony, maybe, or was it Sledge? I have the $300 on my CSR that I could have bought the ticket, charged the tickets to that on it, but I wanted to replenish some of my United points at 9 times. So $1,000 bill at 9 times is a hell of a lot of United points at one shot. So I went that route. So I think what it does is it gives you the ability to maximize your travel, especially. And you could pick and choose, as opposed to being stuck with one. Because if you're flying somewhere and your carrier that you love doesn't go there, you're stuck, and now you've got nothing. Anthony's pushing me now to go get the Alaska card and American Airlines, and it makes all the sense in the world. So that's my next pivot to that, because it gives me another option. So I think at some point the diversification gives you the option, as opposed to being stuck in one thing, where if you're near a hub, that's great, but if you're not, then what? So
yeah,
Sure,
actually,
sure.
if I could add on to that too, Sledge, if you don't mind, I actually think I think what Joe says is absolutely correct. I think one thing that I've often like talked about or thought was like just something that I've always done and I thought made sense, which was like it's diversification, but just over a longer period of time, where it's like, me and Sledge, we probably did a similar thing. 5 years ago was all Amex. I just got all the Amex welcome offers, killed it with that. If we look at me in 2024, it was all Chase. I got nothing but Ink cards and Chase cards for the most part until the end of the year. So like I was completely non-diversified last year. It was all Chase. Two years ago, 2020, I would say 2022, 2023, it was like all Hilton. I got the initial card. I got the Hilton Surpay. Actually, it's probably years ago now, but I got a lot of Hilton points in that time, and I only stayed in Hilton hotels. Now it's like going crazy with Hyatt. Now Hilton's back in. So it's like just kind of isolate and go really hard with one ecosystem, get as many points as you can. And then just, especially if you don't want to manage too much, it's much easier to think about like, okay, where could I stay in the next year? Or, which hotels do I like in the next year? Or which points do I want to earn? Just kind of go all in on that one. And then next year, do something else. In the year after that, do something else. And like, it's technically isolated each year, but like over long term, it's diversified. So 100% with Joe on that. Yeah, absolutely.
For sure. And I know I'm not in this, man, but I agree with both of y'all on that. Like I agree with both of y'all on that. And Joe, yes, get Alaska and American.
You know why though? And because what you guys tell me, honestly, and I'm not saying that because you guys are here, I would never know these things, right? I just wouldn't. When you sent me the text, and I used your text yesterday during the live to show people the responses that IHG were giving you via text for your room and the bottles of Fiji water. To me, that matters. Again, it's convenience. It's an experience, right? So I want to get that. When Anthony told me, "Oh, you're going to Portland, you know, you could use Amex, but go through Alaska and save how many thousands of miles doing that?"
Man.
Right. So to me, I take note of all that. I do, and I want to put it to practice. And yeah, sometimes it's great. Sometimes it may not be as wonderful if your situation changes, but again, I just think changing it up and having the options is great.
You can't go wrong with options.
Yep.
As Rod from Point Blank Travel would like to say, options, baby. We need them options, man. We need them options. But look, we about to go into round number 4. This is the last round before we get into the super chat round. Of course, super chat round is everybody who has put a super chat and left a question. And even if you haven't left a question, I'm still going to shout you out in the bonus round. But anybody who wants to leave a super chat, please leave a question because those questions are going to be asked to these creators in the bonus round. But until then, this is round 4. And this time it is on Joe. Joe, how do you leverage the tools like Amex offer stacking? I should have said Lonnie came in, so he'll love this. How do you leverage tools like Amex offer stacking, shopping portals, or even point transfers to maximize value?
So to me, this is something that I've been learning more in the last year and a half. I never really did it. I never really thought of it, right? But I did see one of the first things I think I did was using Rakuten and nailing that for the holidays for MR points, right? At first, I think I started with cash back with them. And then when I found out you can get MR points, I switched. Lonnie turned me on to the United Mileage Plus. Over the holidays, I was giving gift cards for people that wanted a gift card to Home Depot, whatever, and they were giving 5 times a mile plus a 25 bonus if you had a United card. I did that, right? So I'm not great at stacking like Lonnie does and stuff where you really use 2 or 3 different cards at once to get off of one spend. But I'm even learning more about that with Uber. When you go do Uber and you can get Marriott points or you can get Delta points and things of that nature. Fly with Rookie on our Discord was showing how he murdered the points on Delta using Uber because he uses it a lot, I guess, for work. So I think that's something that's beneficial. For me, the one that I use the most are Amex offers. And that is one of the reasons why, going back to the question, the first question I think we got about Amex Platinum, even though they put it across all their cards, that is one benefit that no other issuer. Other issues give you 5% back off. You'll see it. Citibank does it. Wells does it. They all give you something percent back on McDonald's or whatever. But Amex comes in hard. If you're spending a couple of $100 and they're going to throw $100 at you, what the hell? That's huge. So I kid you not, I use my card pointers all the time before I make a purchase. And if I'm going into a store, so that I know where to maximize it. And if Amex has one of their offers, I want to make sure the offer is attached and that I'm using the right card for it. So to me, that's something that I've learned and I've gotten a lot better at. And I've seen the points accumulate a lot. So I think it's huge for people to really learn the nuts and bolts about that. And if there's something that interests you with the portals, add those extensions to your browsers on your phone and on the computer and maximize it. It's there for a reason. So
For sure. Anthony?
Yes, 100%. My only difference is I never really I just never never really got any good Amex offers, to be honest. I know they're out there. I know it works for some people. I just every time I've ever went to look at it, it was like either like I don't know, a weird configuration of like a hotel stay where it was like a certain amount of cash and within certain dates where it just didn't apply to me. And I'm not somebody that goes out and spends too many different places. So honestly, I've never really. I mean, the best offer I think I've ever gotten, literally, was like a Chase offer where it was like 7% back at Food Lion up to like $3 or something like that. I was like, literally, it was the best offer I've ever gotten. It was like because it was consistent. I always go to Food Lion at that time. I was always going to Food Lion. Always on my business in cards, always had some 7% back at Food Lion, and I always use it. But other than that, I never really got value. But as Joe said, Rakuten, oh my goodness, I slept on it for so many years. I've been using it like crazy the last month. I already racked up with Rakuten like 13,000 Amex points via just kind of like sharing referrals between wife and mother-in-law and stuff like that. So that helps. But also like my God, I mean, the highest, my biggest expense. I don't know about anybody else, but my biggest expense outside of like actually booking the flights or the hotels, like taxes and fees and stuff like that, and outside of like I guess food when you're there, is the tours. Every time I go to a new place, it's always a tour, no matter what. In fact, I was just in Hilton Head Island for this timeshare on Viator. I actually booked a little dinner cruise, a little sunset dinner cruise and dolphin, sighting stuff. It was like $200 for me and my wife. It was a nice thing, but it was like $200, and it earns 15x back via Rakuten on Viator right now with the elevated spend. I also just booked a tour for London. There's a whole London tour that was also about $230. I got 15x back on that. That's like an additional 3,000 Amex points. So like I'm booking so many freaking tours over the next year. I should be able to earn just like tens of thousands just on the tours alone. And I feel like that's the big money with it. In fact, actually, even Rakuten had PetSmart the other day, 20x for Memorial Day. I bought a bunch of boxes of stuff for this friggin' fat cat I have, and and I got 20x back on all that. A simple $40 purchase gave me almost 1,000 Amex points. I mean, that's insane. So I'm just like, yeah, that's Rakuten's way to go. 100%. I'm with you there.
No,
I love it.
I used a Michael Wong thing with the VPN for Nord about a month ago. They had 100% back on Rakuten one day, and what I paid for Nord, I got right back in MR points, which was insane. And one of my Amex offers, which was a great surprise, was actually two of them. In Europe, going to a restaurant in Paris, spending $200 on dinner, getting a $40 credit popping up on my email. That was great. Here in the Garden State Mall, last month, I took my friends out to eat at the Grand Lux Cafe, which is like a sister to the Cheesecake Factory. Spent $120. They sent me back 25. Like, you're like, oh crap. I got, or even my car insurance I put on my card for auto payment. They gave me 3 $20 credits. And that was for Geico, which I would have never known. But we also have to remember that to add them. That's why I use card pointers, which, by the way, it's not a plug, but the guy emailed me today offering a lifetime for 120 when even Reddit was 168, and I posted it back up because it helps. Those things, to have them loaded and then using it and going, oh, shoot, I got a credit. Where did I get this from? Is great.
For sure.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Oh, yeah.
That's what's up. All right. We are back on Joe.
Yep.
All right, Joe. What is your take on take on points hoarding versus earning and burning?
God. Okay, this is an unfair question because if you Google and ask anybody on this chat right now, points hoarder, if you Google it and look it up on Wikipedia, my face will be there, right? And I get it. Where did Sledge go?
He'll be right back.
Okay, I guess Sledge had a tinkle. But my thing is this. I said it, redemptions for me blows, right? And it's just that I'm learning. And as I've learned, I just did a redemption with United a couple of days ago to buy my flights to Puerto Rico. I did the Hilton. I spent a ton on Hilton for 5 nights in PR at the Hilton Caribe. Um, I wish I could earn and burn. The problem for me is that, you know, life kind of gets in the way sometimes. And even though I'm technically retired, my wife is not. So I can't always, and she owns a business. So we kind of are stuck where we can't always just drop everything and go, which is why I would like to travel. I don't like the cash back part. So if I did cash back, that's easier, right? Because you could use the cash back whenever the hell you wanted to buy something or pay for something. But for me, it would be, that's my weakness. I don't think you should always hoard because of the devaluations, obviously. But it's nice when you have a hell of a lot of points, and to show the hoard, might as well while Sledge is tinkling. This is
Uh-oh.
this is where I'm at, and I've actually used points, guys. I'm not lying to you. I've used points, so don't kill me. But this is where I'm at with Amex points, 640 something
Oh,
thousand.
wow.
All right. I'm almost at 410 Chase Ultimate Rewards. I'm not even including Hilton, I mean, Marriott that I haven't used yet and stuff like that. So yeah, Wyndham, I have to use them because they expire. So I told Anthony, Anthony, didn't we talk about that? I said, if you're going away, I'll cover you for Wyndham because I got Wyndham points that if I don't use, I'm going to lose.
Yeah.
So that's the problem. Yeah. So I'm learning and getting better at that, but you shouldn't hoard, honestly. But earning and burning at this point for me is still difficult.
So
I feel like Anthony's gonna have a different take on this now.
yeah, so I will say that's a reading Michael Wall. Joe got 5 million points. Oh goodness. Yeah, Joe, you must have like 2 million plus still. You must
I
have
still do. Yeah.
yeah,
I
that's
across
crazy.
everything. Yeah, I do.
That's
I forgot
amazing.
about Citibank and Wells.
Oh, so I would say my take on it is and it's actually it's evolved over time. I would definitely say in my current state, I think it is okay to be a hoarder. I never really bought the advice when I used to hear many years ago, which was like, I don't know, don't apply for a card unless you have a redemption in mind. It never really made sense to me because it's never how I did it. I always just kind of always assumed that no matter what, I would be getting cards and I would be building up that currency. Obviously everything gets devalued over time, your money, your dollars, and also your points. So I don't know, it never really occurred to me like, oh, I need to spend them immediately because they're so valuable. It's just not the right time in life. As Joe said, sometimes you're working and spouse is not, or you're really trying to build your career, or you just bought a house, something like that, so there's no time to travel. So like I actually do agree with hoarding for a good amount of time, because I think a lot of us have in the beginning, especially as you're learning. It's like, I don't think there's any better way that someone can kind of get into this game other than like watching all these guys who are doing this like crazy, like Chad, whatever, like to do all these kinds of travels, learn everything while you're building up a stash of points, like hundreds and hundreds of that. Even if you get to millions of points and never use them, just have your nest egg of points that you can use for future travels. And then once you learn everything, oh my God, you're going to be such a savage when when it comes to actually like deploying them in the most efficient way possible. This in the past, I have felt that I've been pretty wrong in retrospect. I've redeemed points in the past in the most subpar ways possible. Like I've cashed out points, and yes, it felt good in the moments where I didn't have to pay cash for a particular thing. But now that I know somewhat on how to book these things for some crazy flights, crazy hotels, I'm like, oh, I should have just done nothing with my points. I would have been better off if I just held them all. Obviously, the small trips and stuff like that, right? Cool. But if I just held them for years and years, and then as soon as I learned how to do all this, deploy them all. So like in this last year, I've learned so much from some of these people who've done it. I think I've actually now redeemed my updated number. I think it's close to 2 million for the next 12 months of travels. So now I'm like bankrupt. I'm like bankrupt everywhere, and I'm scrounging to get my points back. But it's really fun. I think it's very fun to go bankrupt, and then you can rebuild up. So I think hoard for a little bit of time, learn to use those currencies, and then once you do, you can just go crazy. So that's what I'm hoping the next 12 months is about for me.
I'm going to be honest with you. I just to share with everybody else that I was able to, let's say, fly business class like with Filmo, lie flat seats to Puerto Rico because I had the points there. Would I pay cash for it outright automatically? No, probably not. Right. But I want to give Terry an experience on a lie flat, go out, do that. And I have still so many points that next year we already called my cousin who lives in Switzerland and we're going to go to Switzerland and Spain. I know I don't have to pay for the flights or the hotels there and ball out. You know, it is what it is. I pay for food, big deal. But it's those options that you have when you have a bunch of like that. I just have to learn how to really use them a little bit better, you know? So that's the thing.
Nah. Hey, long as you enjoying your time, it is what it is. You know?
Yep.
And everybody, all flights are on Joe for Puerto Rico. Just want to.
Yes.
Yeah, fair enough. And I got those
We'll-
7 Hilton gift cards that we got to burn because we can't get them anymore.
Right, exactly. Exactly. All right, where we at? We at all right. We had the last question of round 4 before we go into the bonus round.
Whoa.
Last question of round 4. Joe, it's on you. What is the one card that you regret recommending? And it better not be the luxury card gold card.
Never that, because the CEO is a great friend of mine. Let me see. Regret recommending. Huh. That's a tough one. Okay. So it's kind of 2. And it's for the similar reason. So I don't have a Venture X, but I had people that asked me that had other Capital One cards and they wanted it for travel. And then they realized that they couldn't use it as they thought they could use it. So I felt bad because they weren't able to utilize it the way that it wasn't as flexible as they thought it was going to be. So that was one. The other one was, and I caught crap for it, was the American Express Gold card. And it was because although it was great for food, for supermarkets and dining, the people that got it thought it would also give them lounge access and stuff like that. And it didn't. It doesn't. But they thought it was the gold card. And then they were like, wait a minute, I just paid this much money and I can't. They went literally to a lounge to use it to get in. And when they were told no, I got called from the lounge saying, Joe, why can't I get in? I said, because you don't have the platinum. You can't. Oh, wow. I said, we never discussed that. So that was kind of on me where I had to know more what they wanted it for. And that's what I learned now. So every time somebody asks me, I go, what do you do? Do you travel, hotel? What's important to you? Before I give a response. So for me, it's those 2. And they're kind of similar because they're both travel related. Cashback is cashback no matter what. So those are easier, right? That's an easier thing because you could use it, some for statement credit, some for cashing out. But for me, it was a travel part. And I felt bad because the cards aren't cheap. So that was my problem.
Mr. Venture, if you remember the question.
So there's one card that Sledge really wants me to mention. I hope he knows which one. It's been a recent development. I see him in the comments section sometimes. Sledge absolutely hates the Amex traditional green card, and I'm going to say that this is the best card I ever recommended. This is definitely not one that I regret at all. I think it's one of the most powerful cards in people's wallets. However, I will say one of the worst cards. I'll say 2 as well. I'll say 2 as well. One that I don't actually think is like inherently bad, but it was like I have a story with it. So one was the Yada card. For those of you who weren't around during that time, Yada card, essentially you swipe the card, you have a 1% chance of getting the item for free. And I did get a lot of items for free, actually. I got like $100 worth of free stuff just by swiping the card and getting something for free. The only downside to that was, and I think that was good because the way we used the Yada card, because there was a whole controversy that the Yada bank was closing deposits. And I guess in that way, I definitely regret it because some people still had money even in there. From what I could gather from the comments, not many. But even I had a few dollars in there and stuff like that. And it was locked, for forever. And I think they're just starting to pay out now. But at least for that time, I remember even though I was technically stealing from Yada Bank, like we were using this in conjunction with this card, which I'm going to talk about in a second, where we would basically the curve card allows you to change any transaction that you have back to whatever card is on the network. So like any MasterCard that you have. So if you have a Saver or Freedom Flex, I have this Yada card, MasterCards, I can load it onto this curve card. And then basically I can pay with the Yada card. If the item that I swipe for wasn't for free, like that 1% chance didn't work and it wasn't free, cool. I can now use the built-in feature of the curve card and transfer it over to the Saver card. So I never lost that on that. Maybe it was like 3% dinner or something like that. So Yada, so we were like kind of like giving us infinite amount of chances to get an item for free, so to speak. And so that's what I did a couple of times and it worked. Eventually Yada Bank kind of went under, and then I had people in my comment sections, not from like this community, but like other communities saying like, oh, you should be ashamed of yourself. I can't believe you would promote this card. They had no idea what we were doing. We had no idea we were stealing from them. But I will say the one card I do, if I have to regret a card I recommended, it was the curve card, because I got it right in the midst of when Calby dropped the Godzilla or the God trifecta, where it was the curve and the Bilt card combo, where again, any charge that was on the curve card could be rerouted. So you guys know on Bilt Rente, the first of every single month, you were able to get double the points, and there was a max of like 10,000 points at that time. So at that time, Calby found that you can rewind your transactions 30 days with the curve card. So by his plan, he would have like thousands of dollars worth of transactions between many different credit cards in a given month. And he'll take an hour and he'll swipe them all. He'll curve them essentially all to the first of the month, giving him like thousands of Bilt points all on the first. So it looked like on Bilt's side, oh, this was charged on the first. So you get double the points for like thousands of dollars worth of things. It was insane. Bilt eventually caught on. And that now it's called the Calby clause because they don't allow that anymore. But shortly thereafter, and Sledge knows, the curve card started having its own issues. He was swiping the card at certain places, and all of a sudden it wasn't working. And then eventually this card got discontinued. And I had people in the comments saying like, I got the curve card. It added to my 524, and now it doesn't even exist anymore. And that kind of hurt their 524 status. So I guess this would be the one card I would regret, because it didn't last very long. Many people didn't get to benefit from it, and they only really got a 524 hit for it. So that was my long-winded many stories there.
Yeah, the curve card, it got me too, man. They got me too. But yeah, man, we made it all the way down to the bonus round. We made it all the way down to the bonus round. So for all the, let's see, the 16 super chats that we got tonight, we are going to go through those questions, and then we're going to call it a night. And the winner is going to be decided on by me, because everybody won. Everybody won, man. This is a great debate, and I think everybody will agree that everybody won, man. So definitely.
Don't forget to check your phone for the Zelle I just sent you.
Oh, you said, what was it, 2 million?
I used my curve card.
Route it back to yourself.
Wait,
Put it back.
Is your name Rodrigo?
Yeah.
Whose account you send this from?
100.
All right. Okay. So we got to give first I want to give a big shout out to Xavier for being a member of the channel for 8 months, man. He has been a member of the channel for 8 months. I want to give a shout out to Xavier. I want to give a shout out to Woodsy, because he dropped a $20 super chat without leaving a question. He said he wanted to drop something for the crew, so he did that. A big shout out to Juan Garcia. He also dropped a $20 super chat. He just he wanted to jump on the bandwagon of Woodsy, so he did that. DJ Bruce Wayne with the 199 spot said, "Let's do this." And let's see, Juan Garcia, he says, "Let's get to it. Both of you are giants in the credit card community." Okay, let me see. Who went first last time? Joe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Anthony goes now.
so it's on you, Anthony. Both of you are giants in the credit card community. If you can create a superhero between the both of you, what superpowers would you include from each?
Okay. I already have a pre-prepared answer because I saw this question earlier. I think it's a great question. I will say, okay, so one is the image of Joe, and then the other one is the superpower. So the image of Joe has to be Superman. I mean, Joe, with your history, your
For
father,
sure.
the super. I mean, it's on your neck right now. Joe is absolutely Superman in the space. As far as superpowers are concerned, I think the best superpower Joe could have, and I actually would love this superpower myself, is I think in the words of Michael Wong, sweet talking. So I think Joe would actually, I think his superpower is this is what I would have as a superhero Joe. If I was Joe, if I was using his character, no matter what airline I was on, whatever flight, what hotel I was at, anywhere, you would be able to talk up the management. So this way you can get the highest room upgrade. You get presidential suite at all hotels and you get first class no matter what airlines that you're on. So like if you have the Joe playable superhero, you get the highest level of experiences at hotels and flights and stuff like that. I think that's Joe's superpower. What do you guys think?
Okay, I can agree with that. Go ahead, Joe.
And for Anthony, it's literally his ability. He has his superpower to bring people together. And that's not easy. You bring people from all walks of life, backgrounds, color, you name it, old and young. You took a shot on this old guy, and that's a hell of a super. That's you can't teach that, you can't fake that. That's you're born with that, and that's you. So
That's
100.
what's up. Wow, man, you guys showing admiration, man. What happened in this debate?
And if I had his negative superpower, it's that he can't shut his mouth. No, I'm kidding.
Wepa! All right, bro. That's all right.
You had to throw a weapon in there. All right, Crystal Cove. It's not a question, but she dropped in when I guess when we were talking when you guys were talking about age. She said, "I'm late again, and all I heard was something smarty pants about people that are 50." Hey man, I'm in that group. I have to agree with Clear. Oh, okay, yeah, you have. She had Clear. I agree, it's amazing. I fly out of Logan, Boston to Orlando. For sure, man. I don't know.
Nice.
I gotta agree with Joe on that one too, man. I love Clear, man, because you know the Clear Plus puts you in front of that TSA pre-check line. So yeah, I
Yo,
definitely love
Crystal
Clear.
has been a movie. Crystal has been on the last couple of lives.
Hey,
She's so into the game. She's so cool. Crystal, my love, thank you so much.
I
That
appreciate
you're
it.
just amazing, Crystal.
Hey, listen, definitely appreciate everybody who dropped the super chat, and everybody that viewed the thing, that viewed the debate. But man, listen, if you aren't subscribed to any of these three channels, any of the three channels, if you here for my channel, Anthony's channel, or Joe's channel, I dropped the channels, the links to their channels in the comments. If y'all want to scroll back up and subscribe to them, if you came here for me, if you came here for Joe, subscribe to Anthony and my channel. If you came here for Anthony, subscribe to Joe's channel and my channel, and vice versa. So yeah, please, we put a lot of work in this, guys, and subscribe to the channel is free. Texas Dog, travel portal or transfer partners?
Transfer partners.
Yeah.
Every time?
Yeah, I mean that's.
I think the only time, Anthony, and you probably agree with me, travel portal, Amex, I think of just FHR. You have no choice, right?
Yeah, if that's the case, but I just know the problem is I know how to get it otherwise. It's
Okay,
like
yeah, I don't, but
just like MasterCard or whatever. I'm just like
transfer partners, yeah, it has to be.
But I hear you.
Yeah. I get it. I'm agree with that, but I'm not answering. So, all right. Jordan rules for credit. What would be the most amount of points you would redeem for one trip? Wow, that's a tough one right there.
Okay, there's a difference though. So because we always say the value or whatever, but I redeemed, let's say, 280,000 points, Hilton points for the hotel for 5 nights, right? Should have been 350, but they gave me the 5th night free, so it was 280. That for me was probably the most. But if you're looking at redemptions other than that, honestly, was when I got my car. I took out 250,000 UR points to get $2,500 for my Tesla. So that's probably the most in one shot for something, but it wasn't even for travel. It was just for a purchase. But if not the Hilton one.
That's fine. But you got the most. I'm pretty sure you had the most unique redemption out of us. So
well, it was good. Again, I think had I had the cash, obviously, yeah, I wouldn't. But it goes back to what we were talking about earlier. Having the ability, like Anthony was saying, like you might like to hoard or to hold on to them because something was coming, and I was able to do it without it hitting my pocket. So I still was able to use it.
Oh yeah.
Anthony.
So I'm currently going through this at the moment, and I guess partly because I just want to see how it feels. I think I have a feel. I kind of have an idea of how this trip is going to go. I think it'll be great, but I think it's testing the waters on what's like maximum possible for us. So again, the Italy trip is the one that it's the most amount of points I've ever redeemed, and it's still not technically done just because I'm mixing matching different currencies. I'm like, oh, maybe it's better redemption on a Hilton here, and then keep those high points for a different destination. But as it stands conservatively, I think it's around 1.2 or 1.3 million, and that's 3 weeks in Italy, spanning everywhere from Milan down to, actually, I think we're actually going to be able to get done Amalfi Coast. So we're hitting the entirety of Italy in 3 weeks, and it's, and I definitely didn't scrimp. I used like most of the points that I wanted to there, and so I'm excited for that. And that's flights and that's hotels. So I would say about 1.2, 1.3. But what would the most amount of points be? I mean, if this trip ended up being 2 million, I'd still be happy. I again, there's an opportunity cost. Like, could I have multiple different destinations? Sure. But Italy has been on our bucket list for so many different years. It's actually our honeymoon trip, technically. And so yeah. And I was okay with using everything. It just so happened that I didn't have to. But I was okay with using everything for this one trip if I had to. But in hindsight, I probably would say save some for future trips and stuff. But we'll have enough. We'll have enough. We got a few different. We have like, I think if I do it right, the next 12 months we should hit 10 countries, which would be crazy. So knock on wood. But we've got them all kind of planned now, and so I'm excited for that. So that's what I would say.
Okay,
Cool.
Yeah, that's fire, brother. You only live once.
100%.
Yeah, you only live once.
I think it'll be a little too much though. 3 weeks though. If I'm being honest.
Hey, you can move around that area a lot though. So yeah, you can move around a lot. DJ Bruce Wayne, he said, and this is a question that a lot of people like to put in, but he added a little bit of flavor onto it. If you were starting over, what would your first 3 cars be, Joe?
Honestly, the Amex Green would have been first. The second one, now business or personal, but the second one probably would have been the Ink Preferred from Chase because of all the great multipliers, and it's a strong card and you can convert to points. And then the third would still be the Platinum card, just because of what it offers.
I can dig that. Anthony, what do you think?
So for the first 3, it's always interesting. It's not like the only 3; it's the first 3.
That's why it was hard.
Yeah. So thinking like, what would have set me up? I try to think what would have set me up with the most success down the line if it was just going for my first 3. I think probably a little bit of a mix. I'd probably say I would be happy if I had. I would say if it's the first 3 and it's like this is not like I have to get a secured card like to get approved. Like for some reason I could get approved for the first 3. I would definitely say like an Ink Unlimited, get that welcome offer, and then I have a cool $0 annual fee at 1.5x everything, and then I could just keep that open for life. Okay, cool. That's gonna keep my average age as old as possible. The second card, man, it's so tough because I'm like, the first 3, I don't want too high of annual fees, but I want to also get as many points as possible. So the one after that, I might go with Joe in a similar fashion with the either Ink Preferred or Sapphire Preferred, just to get the cool, if I can get 100K points there, I think that'll be valuable. And then, maybe a no annual fee Hilton card. And if it can come with like 70K points and a free night certificate, I think that would, if you just do those 3 for the first, again, I usually advocate a secured card and then cool. But if you just did those 2, you'll have like 200,000 Chase points and you'll have about 80,000 Hilton points and a free night certificate. That's actually a good amount of travels with just your first 3 cards with only a $95 annual fee. And 2 of those cards you can keep open for life. So I could probably think about it further, come up with a better answer, but I think maybe that would be like the best value for the first 3, maybe. Yeah.
Hey, these on the spot answers, so every answer is gonna be a good answer. So before we get to the next question, Joe Barreto, I gotta put you on the spot. It's time to promote the Barreto Brown extra wallet. We gotta do it.
Wow. OG Barreto Brown. Okay.
Wow.
Matches my panels, right? Love this wallet. However, it was still a little too bulky. And Extra was kind enough with the Wepa Red Barreto Burgundy Pro, which everywhere I go, people think it's fire because it pops up the cards. Ooh, and what's in my wallet all of a sudden? The Reserve, the United Club, the City Strata Premier, the Amex Gold, the Delta Business Gold, and the Amex Business Platinum.
Dang, that's $3,000 in annual fee.
Yeah, pretty much. And I'll share this with you guys because you guys are the ones that always, as we promote these, so that people know, because I got asked before I came on, Hilton will be coming out again for the Aspire with 175,000 sign-up bonus and that big free night certificate. So I think I might say bye-bye to the Hilton Honors playing card and just cancel that one and then apply because I'm stuck with that Amex rule. But thank you for me pushing this. As well as, guys, don't forget, those of you on vacation, don't forget your travel bag from Extra that comes with the pump. I don't know if you guys have seen this live yet, but look, guys, if this was filled with clothes, you could... It sucks like the air out of everything here, and you're good to go. So, yes, thanks, Emmanuel at Extra.
For sure.
I thought that had to be plugged
Anthony
in.
Venture for putting us
on. I charged this 3 weeks ago.
Oh, wow.
It holds its charge, and it sticks yourself, in a little bag. It's great.
That's fire. Anthony, you got anything you want to promote before we go to the next question?
Actually, yeah, I do. King's Wigs in Malden, South Carolina. They got me. They have the best wigs in all the South. So if you want a good wig, you go in there. Very nice ladies in there. They help you out. So yeah. I think it's called.
God, I love you. God, I love you.
All right, we're going on to our guy, Juan Garcia, who support every single creator. He said, if you had enough points for the ultimate redemption, airline or hotel, what would that redemption be? So I'm assuming it's the airline and the hotel.
I could think about that. Okay, I know.
Ultimate redemption.
Okay. I'm not sure the airline name, but whatever Chad flew on that the bar was standing there. I don't know if it was Qatar or Etihad. I have the point for that. I have that. And hotel. There's so many beautiful hotels, especially when you go to Europe, that I would say, okay, actually, when we went to NOLA, what hotel did you guys stay at that Anthony Chad stayed in the same hotel you did, right?
Yeah, the Roosevelt, the Waldorf.
His apartment, because it was an apartment,
Yeah.
was next level ridiculous. Like you could run in
Yeah.
there and play games. Like it was ridiculous. So something like that where the experience is just the experience. The view is the view. You're in a great location. So I would fly like Chad did to go to the Middle East, and then a hotel that gave you that kind of wow factor when you open the door.
Hmm.
Yeah, Xavier said the Roosevelt crew.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a fun.
Hey,
Yeah, that was-
y'all were the Roosevelt crew.
Man.
I was in the cut, man. For everybody that don't know, I'm flying from Miami to Puerto Rico to the meetup every day. So anybody that want to hitch a ride with me in Miami, I'm taking a helicopter trip, but I don't have a set time. So you just gotta hang out with me until I'm ready to
That
go.
works. You want to hang out with Sledge? He's fun.
All right, Anthony.
I would say definitely. If I was able to, I'm actually like kind of mapping out if it's like possible based on whatever else. But actually, definitely the Etihad, the residence. That's the one where you literally have a basic normal like a whole room you have, and then there's another room where it's a whole bed. It's actually like almost like a 2-room suite. Like it's a whole house essentially. It's called the residence for a reason.
Right.
I would like to actually see how many square foot it is, but maybe like 300 400 square, something crazy. That it would definitely be like the dream redemption. If I can get that done, that would be sick. But it's so hard to get. You have to book first class, and then you have to be eligible for that upgrade. It has to be the right plane, and there's only certain routes that it goes on. So I would say at the residence would be the one. Ultimate redemption. And then if it was, I don't know about hotels. I almost feel like the ones that I really want to hit, I'm getting, and it's not like an insane amount of points. Like they're okay. I don't know, but maybe just to say I did it, like everyone, I guess like, everyone makes fun of it, but I guess just to say you did it, like I don't know, one in the Maldives that has like the underwater, so I think that would be kind of cool. It would be swim with. I love to swim with. Yeah, it's something like that. I just can't think of any hotels that are like so high in points that it's not attainable. Most of the time, the hotels are attainable. It's just very hard to book. It's like it's just no availability or something like that. So I can't help.
Okay.
I can't really think of it in that way. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I feel like you undersold the residents, Anthony. Because I got to step in on this because the residents, like I've never seen anything like this thing, man. It's literally a bedroom on an airplane. You open up a door and it's literally a bedroom inside of the plane. It's not.
It's like a high-end place room. Yeah.
Right. You open it up. There's literally a bedroom inside of it. I think what is it? 2 on the plane, 1 on each side, probably.
I think so. Yeah.
Because it's a nice size space in there to get inside of. There's literally a residence on the plane.
How does that work? Like, is there like a giant seatbelt that goes across the mattress?
Man,
how does that work?
You literally just laying down in there.
Yeah. That's the Mile High Club to the fullest there, bro.
For real.
It has a whole bathroom shower too. Like a whole shower. And it's
full
like
shower in there. Full shower in there.
That's the dream.
I actually just seen it recently, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
Yo, Chad, you saw Chad's question?
Yeah.
It's a good question.
I got it. We gonna get that. I think Chad got the last question.
Okay.
All right. Now, Juan Garcia. Okay, wait. Oh no, that one. Next one. Traveling on everyday spin. Okay, so he just he pretty much just saying what's up.
Congrats on 1,000 subs. Damn.
1,000 subs. Big congratulations, man. Look, if y'all haven't subscribed to Traveling on Everyday Spin channel, please spin over there and hit that sub, but not until after y'all finish watching this today. Okay. Rodrigo says, okay, he said you gotta apply for the Venture X now. Dang, Joe. Okay, Tariq Burks is in here.
Been a minute, Tariq. What's up?
Man, been a big minute. two hotel chain cards recommendation for road trips.
That's easy for me.
Go ahead.
The Hyatt, just because, again, and I know people, I've paid only 12,000 points to stay at that one in New Orleans, right off the strip per night. That's a no-brainer. So it's an easy card. You get the one certificate a night. And like Anthony just did on his video that I saw, if you stay in 5 different Hyatts, you'll get another night. So that's great. And the basic Hilton card, you get a lot of points up front. You'll get a silver status, or if you have a platinum, you'll automatically get gold without having to pay for the card. And I think those two would be solid cards. You notice I didn't use Marriott because, again, like people say, even the gold status at Marriott isn't all that great here. Abroad, it's better. But I would say a Hyatt and a Hilton.
Now, I guess for this question, is it like actually like for when I think of for road trips, is it like,
Right.
earning on gas?
Okay.
I guess. Well, actually, one thought. 'Cause that's an interesting question. Hotel cards, but for road trips. So I would say, you know what? I won't be able to come up with two. I'll borrow from Joe's for either Hyatt or Hilton. Cool, but I'll actually say one that I think would be interesting is if someone has either. I mean, I would prefer the Ritz-Carlton card, but Ritz-Carlton card or Sapphire Reserve. But I would say the Ritz-Carlton card as a hotel card, because you get all the benefits, the free nights and benefits, stuff like that. But the roadside assistance that you get on that card, I've talked to so many people who've had that card now. When you are driving on a road trip and you have a flat tire, or I can't tell you how many flat tires I've had, or how many bent rims I've had, or how many ball joints have broken on me, doing K turns and stuff. What you can do is when you have do I have it on me? No, I don't. I do. When you have the Ritz-Carlton card, if you call the number on the back, you can tell them like, oh, I need roadside assistance, so a tow truck, or you can fix a flat, if there's a way to fix it, or replace the tire. And the one thing that I've found from talking to people, typically it says you only get $50 per quarter. But what I found is they never actually charge you. so you could just have a flat tire, have a tow truck. That usually would be like $170. Most tows are 170, 180. You can get that completely for free, it seems, with the Ritz-Carlton card. So I'm like, yeah, if you're on a road trip, I'm gonna probably keep my Ritz-Carlton card close, and I'll just call that number as soon as I have any type of car trouble. Let them pay the bill on that. So I would say the Ritz. For that in that situation. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. All right, let's go to the next one. Hobby Tom. The question is for Joe. Okay. Is it more accurate to say A, kick him in the web? What? Or B, grab him by the coquille?
B, grabbed him by the coquille. Because kicked him in the wepa, it depends, right? A coquille is a frog, basically. It's a tree frog. So if you're grabbing somebody by their tree frog, you already know what you're grabbing, right? Kicking him in the wepa, I've never really heard of that. But if I'm gonna grab you by the coquille, I'm gonna go with B.
But wait a second, Joe. Don't you have a friend that you call the credit coquille? You mean you're grabbing Mr. Stan?
Stan. Before Stan was married, yes, I grabbed Stan by the coquille. Damn it, I did.
Grab Stan by the coquille. Oh my goodness,
that's hilarious. All right, furniture guy. I spent $300 buying points, 100% Hilton bonus, 30K plus 30K points, 60K total. You think these offers are worth purchasing, Anthony?
I mean, if it's just going to be as just given that information, my first thought is like, okay, that those 60,000 points, is that going to be used towards like being able to get one of these really nice days? So one thing I found, if you really want to talk like, I guess, minimum redemption value for these points, I would probably say the way it makes the most sense for me, since you're buying it at 0.5, everyone's going to tell you obviously if you can redeem those Hilton points above 0.5, okay, now you're in the green. So you bought them at the 100% bonus. So you bought them for 0.5 each. But one thing I will say is actually a more of a sweet spot that I think a lot of people have slipped on over the past year, but the partnership with SLH, Small Luxury Hotels, since they have been removed from Hyatt and now gained by Hilton. One thing that I found is that very often in all of these different countries that I'm booking SLHs in, they're all basically between 0.9 and 1.2 cents per point, like double the value that you could normally get with most of these other stays. Obviously, the highest end of Hilton, like Waldorfs and Conrads, you can get closer to that level. But these SLHs, like these non Hilton chain brands that are partnered, I've just found that like you can get some crazy value. So like, and most of them are really high-end hotels, small luxury hotels. So most of the time they're like 120 to 150K a night. I booked a few in a few different countries, namely Italy and Greece, a few different places. I think if you're able to like, if you have 60K Hilton points and then you topped up with an extra 60K and now you got 120K total and you could book these SLHs at over 1.1 cent per point, that's money. Would I purchase 60,000 points to go stay at a couple Hampton Inns? No, no, I wouldn't do that because I very often I probably could buy that same hotel with 300 cash anyway. But if you pay with cash instead of the points, you can earn on your stay. You can get your base points and you can get your points by, if you're paying with your Hilton card or something like that. So yeah, I think it depends on your redemption value because otherwise you could do so much better paying cash for these stays. But unless you're going for those high-end redemptions, I would say, and you're topping up, it's more valuable, personally.
For sure. Joe?
I agree. I mean, I think, here's the thing. Topping off, yes. You look at a $300 bill, if you get to surpass, it's what, 150, right?
Yeah.
And if you get it as a sign-up bonus, you're only spending 1,000 or 2,000 on the card, and you can get 150,000 points. You just tripled that amount of points.
Yeah.
That's my only problem that I have with that math, looking at it. And I went to summer school for math, fair enough. But I think $300 worth of points for that, you just pay the night, because I can't see 60,000 points. They're giving you if you look at it, right? Am I right? Is it the 0.5?
Yeah.
Right. So I don't think it's worth it. I think you could just do better on a different offer, or doing the 5 nights and getting the 5th free with a car, like we did for PR. That's huge. 70,000 points you're saving on one night is gigantic.
Yeah.
So
like if that's the difference,
deal, maybe, but that's it.
Yeah, like if you're like Jason, who had to top up a little bit to get the 5th night free at the at the Caribe or something, then all day I'm paying for points to get that 5th night free. Absolutely,
for sure. I gotta get that 5th night free, and that's why I love IHG, man. 4th night free.
4th night,
4th night free. So if you don't want to stay those 5 nights, you're forcing yourself to stay 5 nights because it's free. 4th night free. But anyway, all right, let's move on. Okay, so the next question is going to be, let's do it like this. The next question is going to be for Joe, and then Anthony, then Joe.
Okay.
All right. So Joe. Okay, so this ain't even a question.
PR versus.
I like the flags. That's cool.
Hey, he say whoever I think is winning, then that's who won.
That's it. I
like I say, you know who I think is winning. I think that everybody that viewed this is winning, so for sure.
100.
All right. This was a great show. Thanks. Great chemistry. You should collaborate again. We always will.
We always do.
We always will. We are a well-oiled machine. We are a team. We may not always collaborate together, but believe it, there's always something in the works. Chad says, for Joe, if you had to cancel 5 cards for the Venture X, what would they be? Oh, well, what would they be? For Anthony, we're gonna go down first.
All right, so I got it. 5 cards. Wells Fargo autograph would go. That's one. Chase, Disney card is 2. Apple card is 3. Hilton card, the basic card would be 4. And the 5th card, one of my Ink Cash cards, because I have 2. So that would be 5.
Wow. Ink Cash to come out?
Yeah,
Wow.
because I have 2. So I'm cheating.
Oh, okay,
Oh,
gotcha.
right.
It makes sense.
Good point.
Makes sense. All right. And for Anthony, what 3 cards would you cancel for an instant Sapphire bonus?
This is honestly kind of too easy, just because I have the dumbest cards in the world right next to me. I have not canceled the downgraded Delta Gold card. I got the Delta Blue in the mail the other day. It's the business blue, which most people didn't even
It's
know
so
existed.
bendy. It looks like you could.
I know.
What the hell? It's like a puppet.
Hey, I had that card.
Made with 70% reclaimed plastic.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
So
That's the green. The green is too.
yes,
Oh my
yeah,
God.
but actually, the difference is the green. Doesn't the green say ocean plastic, or does it say?
Oh, maybe.
Oh no, it does say it's the same. It is the same reclaimed plastic.
Anyway,
So
yeah.
I would get rid of that blue Sky Miles business. I'll get rid of the dumb card Sledge hates, the Amex traditional green. I'll get rid of that, and then I would probably get rid of I'd probably get rid of the Hawaiian card. I would get rid of the Hawaiian Airlines card. Yeah.
Okay.
I would say.
Okay.
Easy. Absolutely.
Crystal Cole said not the Apple card.
Yeah, no. God forbid.
Hey, that was the last question, y'all.
Oh wow.
That was the last question.
Damn.
The first thing I want to do is to thank both of these brothers for taking a time out to do this, because they didn't have to. Like I said, they definitely had the guts to get up here. And although it is all in fun, it was still a debate. You know what I mean? It was still a debate, and not everybody would get up here and do this. So I appreciate them doing this. And I want to give them a chance to give some final words. But before that, I want to thank every single person that was here for 5 minutes, 15, 20 minutes, or the entire time, because you didn't have to do that. Anthony, since you the younger fella, I'm going to let you go first. You got any parting words?
Absolutely. Well, I think after all of this, the one thing we've learned is Anthony is still undefeated and undisputed. I think it's 4-0 now. I think it's one more in the win column, one more for the bad guy. And we'll see if anyone else agrees with that. But I will say, Sledge, I know you worked very hard setting this up over the past month or so. You went through the trouble of actually creating a whole game, like a rounds and rules and stuff like that. So you put in a lot of legwork, and you're literally the guy who does also, like Joe says, I bring people together. Sledge brings so many people together. So many different people come on, and he's one of the best hosts. I actually really love Sledge as a host, because he just lets you talk. And he's very good at listening, and he'll jive with whatever you're saying. So Sledge is awesome, and I've known Sledge for many years now, Joe as well. So I just appreciate being a part of this, the whole community as a whole. So, and just just even inviting me in the first place. So thank you, Sledge, here, and Joe, you guys are awesome,
brother.
Always
you
awesome.
Already know.
Well, I want to. This just shows you how great of a community this is. I swear to God, this is real time. This is from Bobby Yakuzo and his wife, Christine. Decided to get 2 of those extra vacuum bags. Used your code, thinking they will come in handy. Fun show tonight. Literally just now.
Wow.
Okay. That just shows you, not only do we do this online, we talk a lot offline. We talk a lot amongst ourselves. We're friends, brothers even, right? And, yeah, Anthony feels that he beat me and he's still undefeated. But I'm going to be honest with you. I'm on antibiotics. I have a sinus infection.
Oh, here we go.
But yet, I still colored my hair. I cut my hair. I colored my eyebrows. I did crunches, right? I used his shirt, right? I came and I brought the game. I feel, and I'm going to be honest with you, I give him one of the rounds, and I know I crapped the bed on the rounds when it came to carrying a balance. I knew that was going to be, I knew that one. But the other ones, I brought it. All right. And for mi gente out there, look at this, man. This is what ravishing is all about.
Whoa.
All right. So right there, if I had a Rode mic, I'd drop it. But my mic is standing here and I paid a lot for it. So I love you guys. I genuinely love you guys. I mean this. I know it gets mushy, whatever, but we can't have this kind of just ease. Like people say, like we just know we could feed off each other. It's not work. It's easy. And it's because we care for each other. We love each other. We worry about each other. We always wonder how everybody is. And that's what matters. I had a freaking blast. I've been looking forward to this forever. I looked for a muscle shirt to wear underneath so I could fill it up like Anthony. I couldn't freaking find one. But I love you, Anthony. I hope you had a great birthday yesterday, Papi. Sledge, we talk every day. And, you know, guys, to share this with you, we even joke. We were talking about spelling of the last name. Sledge, by mistake, spelled my last name wrong, right? And then Sledge is like, yo, bro, you think it's easy? They call me Donate instead of Dante. Right? So that's the kind of crap we do off screen, you know? So I love you guys. Thank you so much, Sledge, for putting this together. Anthony, I wouldn't want to do this with anybody else but you. I love you.
Same. I didn't mean what I said earlier. I think you're
And Texas Dog wants us to do a group wepa.
Okay. Before we do that, look, because I probably won't be on before the first, or maybe I'm not sure. But if I'm not on before the first, I want y'all to remember the Bank of America, the customized cash starting June 1st is giving 6% cash back in any of their categories for a year for people who just got it. I already had a card, so I can't get it. But anyone who gets the customized cash, and remember, when you get the customized cash card, you can get 2 Bank of America cards with 1 hard inquiry. And as long as you get those cards within 30 days, you can apply for 2 of them on the same day if you want to. But yeah, don't forget that. Crystal just brought that to my attention, and sad to say, I already have the card, so I can't partake in it. But that's the sad part about having so many cards. When some of these good deals come along, you just can't get them. So Anthony was saying earlier about being able to get so many points if he were to apply for those same cards again today. It's the same thing. But all right, y'all ready, man? We can do the wepa.
Let's do a wepa. All right, let's do this. But count it down.
Go ahead.
1, 2. I got to keep the mic away because it cracked yesterday when I did it. 2. All the glasses are out. 3.
Right off.
Oh my
Woo!
God, do it.
Damn, that was good. I love you guys. The chat, you guys were amazing.
For sure.
Amazing. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. We are out of here.
Love you.
Appreciate you all.
Peace out, mi gente.